Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. And actually this was actually a group of puzzles, and I just decided to do this one because it sort of appealed to me. So I don't know if this is actually easy, but the group of puzzles was designated as easy in general. So take that with a grain of salt anyways, because normally if it's considered easy, it's not always easy. And this was in a group of easy puzzles that was considered easy. But take that with a grain of salt. Today's puzzle is called Bad German Whispers, which is by Michael Lefkowitz. And here are the rules. We have normal Sudoku rules apply, which means fill the entire grid with the digits 1 through 9 such that there are no repeats in any row, column, or not designated 9-cell region, which is a box in this case. We also have bad German whispers, hence the name of the puzzle, where adjacent digits on a green line differ by at least 5 unless they are the same digit. So that's pretty cool. So if this were a 3, this digit would have to be an 8 or a 9 because those are the only digits that are 5 or more away from 3. But this digit could be 3, 8, or 9 because if it's the same digit, they can be adjacent next to each other on a German whisper line, or obviously they have the typical German whisper line rule set. That's pretty fascinating, actually. So I'm curious what this is going to actually change. Anyways, those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, my eye is drawn immediately to row 6 because typically on a normal German whisper line, you cannot have a 5 on it, right? Because if you have 5 and you subtract 5 or more from it, you get 0 or less, which is not a normal digit in normal Sudoku. If you add 5 or more to 5, you get 10 or more, which is not a digit. So 5 is not typically on a German whisper. But this whole row is on a German whisper. So one of these digits must be a 5, which means that it must be a 5 next to another 5 on the German whisper line. And it can only be next to another 5. It cannot be next to any other digit except diagonally crossing borders on this bad German whisper line. So the 5 cannot be here because it's next to a normal digit on German whisper. This cannot be 5 because it's next to 2 normal digits. This is next to 2 normal digits. This is next to a normal digit. This is next to a normal digit. This could be 5. And this is next to a normal digit on German whisper line. Or, sorry, it's next to a different digit on a German whisper line. And this is next to a different digit on a German whisper line. So this must be the 5 because there is no other digit that's only next to one other non-unique digit. Right? So this has to be 5, and 5 has to be next to 5 and 5. Right? Because this is next to a different digit. This is next to a different digit. This is next to a different digit. These are all next to different digits except for this, right? So this has to be the 5 here. What does that mean? I'm not sure. 5 cannot be here. So none of these could be 5 because that would be the only way they could be on a German whisper line. These can't be 5 because they're next to a different digit on a German whisper line. 5 can't be here, so 5 has to be one of these two. 5 must be one of these two, then. This is next to another different digit on German whisper line. So is this. So is this. So none of these can be 5. Where is the 5 in row 3? It must be here then. So this can't be 5. 5 has to be one of these digits here. This digit is these two digits are next to each other on a German whisper line, so 5 cannot be there. Where is the 5 in row 4? It has to be then here. So this can't be 5 here. 5 cannot be here, cannot be here, so 5 is one of these 3. 5 has to be one of these 4 then. Okay. We cannot color this bad German whisper line in completely, because those digits could be next to each other, right? This digit is next to 2 unique digits on the German whisper line. So it must be, and it cannot be itself. So this is 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Same with this one. Let's mark all the ones that have to be next to two unique digits other than itself. So that would be this, 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 and this. This does not have to be 2 unique digits. It could be the same digit as itself there. This is next to 2 unique digits, 2. Those 2. This is next to 2 unique digits. This is next to 2 unique digits here. This is next to 2 unique digits here. This is next to 2 unique digits here. This is next to 2 unique digits. This is not. This could be the same as itself here. This is next to 2 unique digits. This is next to 2 unique digits. This is next to 2 unique digits. So we know where 4 and 6 have to be. So 4 and 6 both have to be here. So they would be next to 1 and 9, right? Because this is next to 2 unique digits, so cannot be 4, 6. This is next to 2 unique digits, can't be 4, 6. This is next to 2 unique digits, can't be 4, 6. This is also, same with this, same with this. So this is 4, 6, which is next to 1, 9. So this has to, then this has to be 2, 3, 7, 8 for the rest of the row. This is next to either 2 highs or 2 lows. So this is, we're going to make this then orange, and we'll make that next to yellow. Actually, I guess we'll make this yellow, and therefore this is yellow. These are the orange versions, so this must be the yellow version. Well, that's interesting, right? Because this must be next to, so if this is low, say it has to be next to 2 highs here, definitely. So this can only be 2 or 8, which forces this to be 3 or 7. But we know both of these are not the same set as that, so this must be the same set as that. Therefore, this must be a different set, because again, they can't be the same digit. So this must be an orange set. This must be orange. That forces this to be yellow. And since this is yellow, and if it went to a normal German whisper digit, which means it's 5 or more away, the problem is it would have to be an orange one, right? But then you'd have 2 oranges next to each other, and they're different digits, so that's not possible. Therefore, this has to be the yellow 1 or 9 here. This is yellow. This is yellow. This is yellow. So this must be orange. This is orange, orange. This is orange, so this can't be orange. This is yellow here. That makes this orange. 3 or 7 cannot be next to the other orange 3 or 7. It has to be next to the orange 2 or 8. So this is either 3, 7 or 4, 6. We're not sure which there. This can't be orange. This has to be yellow, which forces this to be orange. Therefore, this is yellow. We have 4 oranges now in row 4, sorry, 4 yellows in row 4, which means the last digit is orange. So this is orange, which forces this to be 3, 4, 6, 7. Therefore, this had to be yellow next to the orange. This is orange next to the yellow. Therefore, this is yellow because we have 4 oranges in box 5. We have 4 yellows in box 4, so this must be orange. Therefore, we have 4 oranges in... Well, we have 4 oranges in box 6, so this must be yellow. This orange must be next to a yellow here because it's a different number. This yellow must be next to an orange here because it's a different number. The orange must be next to a yellow here because it's a different number. So therefore, this must be orange. And orange next to each other means this has to be 3, 4, 6, and 7. So this is the same digit. The remaining digits have to be yellow here. So this is yellow. It's next to orange and orange on the German whispered line. We don't know if this is the same digit here. It could be. Or it could be the orange 1, 9. This has to this cannot be 4 or 6. Because if this is 4, 6, it would be next to 2 unique digits. So this has to be the yellow 3, 7, which forces this to be the yellow 4, 6. The yellow 4, 6 in row 5 cannot be here, so this is yellow 2, 8, which means this is yellow 4, 6. This is yellow 2, 3, 7, 8 here. Oops. Which forces this to be this has to be orange 1, 2, 8, and 9. Orange 1, 2, 8, and 9, but this cannot be the orange 1, 2, 8, because the orange 2, 8 has to be one of these 2 digits. So this is the orange 1, 9, and it cannot be 1 because of this 1. So the oranges are all highs, and the yellows are all lows. So this is a 9. This has to be 4, 3. 3 can only be next to 8 and 9 on a German whisper line, as long as it's not, and since it's a bad German whisper, and it can't be the same digit, so this has to be 8, which forces this to be 2. This is 7. This has to be 1 and 1. This is 4. 1 is next to 6. This is 4 next to 9, which has to be next to 3. This is 2. This is 8. This has to be 1 then. This has to be the red 8. So this is 8. 8 can only be next to 2 or 3, so that's fine here. We have, what, 7 and 9 remaining in box 5. So this forces this to be a 6. This is not 3 or 4 here. This is a 6, 7 pair. So this is a 6, 7 pair. 6 and 7 can only be next to 1 or 2 on a normal German whispered line. This cannot be 4 because it's next to 2 unique digits and not itself on a German whispered line. So this has to be 1. This 1 eliminates 1 here, so that's 2. 2 can only be next to 7 out of 6 or 7 on a German whispered line. So this is 7, this is 6, this is 7. 6 can only be next to 1 on a normal German whisper line, but we already have a 1 here. So since it's a bad German whisper, this must be 6, and this is a high. That leaves this as 8 or 9. This is 7, 8, or 9. This can only be 4 or 9 here. The 7 can only be next to 2 or itself on a bad German whisper line. The 2 could be next to 8 or 9 or 7, but 7's not allowed here, or a 2. Remaining digits in... Okay, 4 can only be next to 4 or 9, and this can't be 9 on the bad German... On the bad German whisper line. So this has to be a 4, which makes this a 9, because 4 can only be next to 9 on a normal German whisper line, so that makes this low. Well, this low has to be the same as this low, so it's 2 or 3. We have an 8 with a 2 or 3. The 8 in row 3 has to be here. So this is 8, which is with the other low 2 or 3. So these have to be the same digit. Okay. So this is 8, a high. This is 2 or 7. If this is 7, this would have to be 2. So either way, one of these is a 2, right? If this is 7, it could be with 1 or 2, but 1 can't be here, so that would be 2. On a normal German whisper, since it's bad, it could also be with this itself. So this could be 7, 7. But then that would force this to be a 2. So either way, 2 has to be one of these two, which means this can't be 2. This is 3, which makes this a 3. This 3 eliminates 3 here, so that's 2 and 2. So one of these is a 2 here. If this is 2, it could be with 7, 8, and 9. Also, one of these has to be a 2, right? If this is 7 and this is 2. Okay, this can never be 7 then. If this is 7, that forces this in. This is not 7, this is 2. So obviously, if this is 7, this can never be 7. And this would actually have to be 2. If this is 7, this is 7, this is 2. If this is not 7, this is 2. That means this can't be 2, it's 8 or 9. And this has to be at least 7, 8, or 9. But these two are connected, and they can only be connected if they are the same digit, because they're not 5 away from each other. So this can never be 7 here. 2 has to be here, 2 has to be here. Okay. Remaining digits. Okay, so this has to be 1 or 3, because it can't be 2 here. And it's in between two different unique digits from itself. So this could be 6, no 7, 8, or 9. Okay. If this were 8 or 9, and this were 2, the problem is 8 or 9 would have to be next to a 4 here. But this 4 would be next to two other unique digits which are not itself, and that's not possible. So this cannot be 8 or 9. This must be 2, which forces this to be 7. So this is a 7, this is a 2. This has to be 8. This 7 eliminates 7 here, so this is 9, this is 7. The only other digit which 2 can be next to is 8 out of 7, 8, or 9. So this is 8. 8 can be next to 1 or 3 here, which forces this to be high, which forces this to be low. So this must be 4 then. And this must be the equivalent of this. It cannot be 7 or 8. So this is 9, which makes that a 9. This cannot be 9 here. This can't be 2. Actually, it still could be 2 here. So it cannot be 9 here. We don't know the 2 is actually there. 2 could actually be here then. Okay. What else do we have then? We've pretty much filled out everything else. Okay, so we have 4 and 6 remaining in column 4. Column 5, we have 1, 3, 7, 9, and this can't be 7 or 9. So this is 1, 3, which forces this to be 7 or 9. That leaves that digit as a 6. So this is low. These are high. This is high. That leaves a 1, 3 pair here. This can't be 1 because of this one, so this is 3, which forces this to be 1. Where is the 3 in row 2? Cannot be here because of the 3 in the box. Can't be here because of this 3. It can't be either of these, so this must be a 3 here. We're left with 4, 5, 8, and 9 in this box here. And it cannot be 4, 5, or 9 here, so this is 8, which means this can't be 8 here, so this is 9. This has to be a 4, 5 pair here. That eliminates 4 from the rest of the row, so this is 6, this is 4. This 9 eliminates 9 here, so it's 7 and 9. That leaves only 2 and 7 here. This can't be 7 because of this 7, so this is 2. This is 7. The 2 eliminates 2 here, so that's 8, which forces this to be 6. And only 1 can be next to 6 on a German whisper line. So this is 1. This can't be 2, so this is 3, which makes that a 2 here. We have 8 2s. We know where the last 2 has to be. It has to be here. That forces this to be 7. Remaining digits in row 2 are 5, 6, and 8. This can't be 5 or 8 here, so this is 6. This can't be 8 here, so this is 5, which forces this to be 8. That means neither of these can be 5, so where is the 5 in this box 7? It has to be here, which means this can't be 5 here. Remaining digits in column 2 is a 1. 1 can be next to 6, 7, 8, 9. This can't be 6, 8, or 7, so this is 9, which forces this to be 4. The 1 eliminates 1 here, so it's 3 and 1. Remaining digits here are 7 and 6. This can't be 7 because of that 7, so this is 6 and 7. We have in row 9, 3 and 4 remaining. This can't be 3, so this is 4. This is 3. We have 5 and 8 remaining in row 8. This can't be 8 because of this 8, so this is 5. This is 8. 5 eliminates 5 here, so that's 4, and this is 5. Yeah, pretty straightforward, actually. You just have to remember that you could also have the same digit there, right? But you have very limited aspects where you can go with those, right? So for example, that's why we started with row 6, since everything you had to have the digits 1 through 9 there. 5 can only be next to itself on a German whisper line, and there was only one cell that fulfilled that criteria. And then everything else sort of flows from there, right? Just as long as you keep in mind that as long as it's not next to each other, it fulfills a normal German whisper rule set. So you can use your typical German whisper solving on that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, or this solve. I think I will try to actually do, I don't know, maybe I'll try the, There are 2 other versions that Michael Lefkowitz had. I might try both of them, actually, because it was kind of interesting seeing this variation on German whisper lines, and I'm curious to see what the other ones are. Anyways, look forward to that in future videos. And you can do that very easily if you subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.